Sign up for the free WagerTalk text club to gain access to free plays and exclusive discounts. Just text WagerTalk to 33222 to sign up and get a $10 coupon to use on WagerTalk.com.
Happy Tuesday, guys. Carmine Bianco here from WagerTalk.com. This is a slimmed down version of Stoppage Time today. We're going to cover 3 Champions League games that go today and tomorrow. It's the final round of qualifying leg 1 in these ones. With me to discuss these games from WagerTalk.com, it's Kevin Dolan, Nick Borman, and Pavlos are off this week. Pavlos is touring the Mediterranean on a yacht, and he'll be back next Tuesday. And Nick Borman is off today, but we should see him again on Thursday. Kev, let's bring you in. How you doing, my friend? And some big matchups today and tomorrow in Champions League.
Yeah, for sure, Carmine. And look, it's been all good. Villarreal put a little bit of a dampener on my week last night, dominated that game, which was a 5% for me, couldn't convert. But, look, at the end of the day, 23-9 running all 5% right now, so can't be too despondent. But it's just my personality. I take any 5% loss personally and, kind of raring to go. So triple pack up in the English leagues for today, where, traditionally always been pretty strong there. And a big 5% for tomorrow as well, and potentially another one for Sunday. So stay tuned for those, and looking forward to breaking down some of these Champions League games on the show today.
Yeah, listen, I know how you feel on these ones. We don't like to, obviously, you don't want to lose them, but it is part of the game. And as long as you win more than you lose, and you definitely have, that's all that matters at the end. It's a long game. It's not a short game. So what do they say? It's a marathon, not a sprint. With that said, yeah, there's three big ones that we're going to discuss. But before that, I'm not sure if you haven't seen it. There's probably a clip somewhere on YouTube. I was watching one of the games that I had yesterday, which was a total in one of the Turkish Superliga games with Galatasaray. And in the second half, the defender for Galatasaray, one of his own players said something to him. He raced upfield, straight up the middle, headbutted his own player, and then took a couple swings at him. They literally his own players had to hold him back. The referee actually went to VAR to watch the 2 players go at it and threw out the defender with a red card. So having a player given a red card in a game for attacking his own player within the game, it's happened in years past with players from the same team going at it on the field. They just didn't. This is for the first time I've actually seen one ejected from the game with a straight red. So it was pretty entertaining from that point of view, Kev. You'll have to find the clip or I'll tweet it out. Follow me at Carmine Bianco WT, and I will tweet that one out. All right, Kev, these are the 3 games we are going to discuss today. Monaco, Shakhtar Donetsk, that one goes today. And then a couple of games for tomorrow as Benfica take on PSV, and Young Boys take on Ferencvarosi. So hopefully I pronounced that right, Kev. I know you have the proper pronunciation on that one, so I look forward to that one. But let's get right to it. Monaco, Shakhtar Donetsk. The line on this one, Monaco minus 150. The draw is plus 300. Shakhtar plus 375. The total here is 2.75. That is a split line of 2.5 and 3. Kev, I'll listen. When I look at this one, Monaco hasn't had the greatest of starts thus far in League One with a draw and loss. But a lot of that has to do with in looking at their lineups in those 2 games, they really did rest players in those games in their attack. They're trying to get into the Champions League. That's where the money is. So I completely get it. Resting players in league play, especially early on, you can recover from that. But you need to get into this tournament and the money that comes with it. And then you look at a team like Shakhtar, and I want to call them the Brazilian B team, because you look at that lineup and there's like no less than 8 Brazilians in their starting 11. And they're a team that year in and year out, we see them in Champions League. They're always there. They make it there. This is one of those games where, personally, I like Monaco here. I think they've got to win this game. I think they got to get a result in Leg 1 before they make that trek to the Ukraine for Leg 2, which is always a tough one. But up front, we're going to see all their guys up there. Ben Yedder, Martins, who's having a very good start to the year, and then even Kevin Volin. These are guys that can score. And now that this away goals rule is gone in Champions League, and they did that, Kev, to try and open up games, to make games more competitive instead of teams defending in Leg 1 on the road trying to get some type of a result. They're supposed to open games up and make them more competitive. Is that something we see in this game? Do we see this possibly go over the total? Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's possible with both of these teams. Usually they are high offense, especially Shakhtar. We've seen that in the Champions League last season. But look, Shakhtar are one of my favorite teams to back. But like you, I'm not sure this is a great position to back them in. I would probably lean more Monaco. I backed Shakhtar Donetsk and over 1.5 goals. I love my combination bets last week against Genk. But as I said, even though they're a team I traditionally like to bet on, this is a completely different level. I mean, you can't compare Genk to Monaco. And even though, that they're a team that I'm extremely high on, Monaco, I said that in the French League One preview 2 weeks ago, despite that slow start, to the domestic campaign. But as you said, they've been concentrating on Europe. What they did to Sparta Prague last time out was, mightily impressive. 5-1 aggregate scoreline, destroyed them. And, for me, it's just the fact they're getting goals from all over the park as well. Martins, Golovin, Diop, Chumani, Volland. And, Shakhtar really need to be careful here, as Monaco have real quality, right across the park. And when you factor in guys like you said as well, Ben Yedder, it's probably not a team you want to be taking on head on if you're Shakhtar here. Overall, as high scoring as Shakhtar traditionally have been, even under new manager Roberto De Zerbi, who's just basically walked in the door at the club, they're still averaging 2 goals per game. But I think they're going to need to slow down the tempo here a bit. Monaco, as we said, they're not a team you want to run at and open yourselves up to, as they have pace in those flanks in which to exploit. So for me, the bet here is, Shakhtar going off a plus 0.25 in the first half handicap line for this match. I like that. De Zerbi has showed that, he can be pragmatic in these type of big games. When he was at Sassuolo, they shut out Roma last season. They shut out Lazio at the end of the season as well. They allowed just 1 goal to Atalanta and so on. So, he's been here before, and I think he looked to grind out a result here on the road in France. Look to try and win this game if they're going to progress on home soil next weekend. So, yeah, for me, Shakhtar Donetsk on the first half line plus a quarter. I think they cover that line later today against Monaco. Full game line, I'm not so sure. Maybe Monaco sneak it.
Yeah, and you mentioned Shakhtar's manager who coached for Sassuolo last season. I think I said on one of the Stoppage Time shows last year that this was a manager that would, at some point, he's going to make his progression and would be highly sought. He's got an attitude of attack, pressing football, and it showed last year with that team. While they didn't have all the talent on that team, they were extremely competitive in many of their games last year in Serie A. So let's see what he does here, and then if this is another stepping stone to another position somewhere else, somewhere down the line. But I agree with you on the Monaco one. And, if Pavlos was here, I'd be throwing it to him next as far as exact scores, and a couple that I like. I'm thinking about these plays and Monaco coming on top, and you look at 2-1 scoreline plus 750 if you like Monaco to win 2-1. If you want 3-1 plus 1200, it's not a bad price in a game where I'm expecting to see some scoring. 3-1 plus 1200 is not a bad scoreline, so it's something to take. If you're a prop bettor and you like some of these, you can throw some, as I always say on Twitter when I throw these plays out there, some pizza money on it at 3-1. Enjoy the game, but I tend to agree. I think Monaco is the play in this one. Guys, it's Tuesday at WagerTalk. Obviously, it's Tuesday, but at WagerTalk and Sportsmemo, it's $2 Tuesdays. It's where you can get a Cappers featured play for only $2. These are plays that normally go for $35 or $25. Within those plays, there are some great promos on long-term packages. Over at WagerTalk.com, it's Adam Trigger. He has an NFL preseason play that you can get for later this week. It's only $2 at WagerTalk. And over at SportsMemo, check out this record, 62-29, 68% MLB run. Mikey Sports, he has a 5% play up at SportsMemo. Pick that up for only $2, guys. These $2 Tuesday plays are a very good feature at both sites. You can get one of the hottest handicappers at both sites and their top plays. So head over to either site or both sites and grab those plays. All right, Kev, two more teams here. We talked about two teams that are playing extremely they're very good football teams, playing well, and I think I wish Monaco and Shakhtar were both into the group stages of the main tournament. Here are two more teams that I really wish would make it through, but only one can. Benfica and PSV. Let's look at the odds on this one. Benfica plus 115, the draw plus 240, PSV plus 230, and the total here is 2.5. Kev, as I mentioned, these are two teams I wish were in the main tournament instead of one of them getting knocked out. PSV, for me, has been a team I have been betting in the 5 or 6 games that they've played thus far. 6-0 so far between League, Champions League, and a Super Cup game. 17-2 goal differential. And I had them on the weekend as a 5% play. But now they travel to Portugal to face a Benfica team who are 4-0 so far this year, 8-1 goal differential, playing extremely well, and they have a defense that is tough to break down. This is a tough one for PSV. As much as I like them, I just think getting plus money with Benfica at home, knowing they need a result before they head out for League Two, give me Benfica in this one, and I tend to lean likely to the under in this one. Give me your thoughts, Kev.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And look, as good as the previous game we talked about is, for me, this is the standout game tomorrow night. We know how good Benfica have been of late. They haven't lost since the attack of Portugal. And that's going all the way back to May. 11 straight games unbeaten now, 9 of which were wins. They haven't lost at home since April. So, this is a Benfica team really, really tough to beat. They're playing really great stuff right now. And, especially in Lisbon of all places, it's going to be a real hard ask for PSV to get a result here tomorrow night. But, you said at the top of the segment, saying that, this PSV team are playing lights out stuff themselves right now, 17-game unbeaten run themselves. So, they shouldn't fear coming here whatsoever. And in manager Roger Schmidt, actually, the Dutch side have a guy who's never lost to Jorge Jesus over the last 4 head-to-heads together. So potentially some mind games there as well. To me, this is new boy Yaremchuk's breakout game for Benfica tomorrow night. The Ukrainian player was the big target signing for Benfica over the summer. They landed him. And he could really be the linchpin of what could end up being a spectacular season for Benfica. If all the pins click into place. He netted against the Dutch back in the Euros. Scored and assisted last time out as well against Aruca. But this is the acid test right here for him on club level. And if he is a standout game tomorrow night, it is hard to look past Benfica, getting the job done at home here. I think another great play is both teams to score for me. I know you like the under, but both of these could cash. That's going off at a minus 138. I was looking at that earlier. That's decent to me. PSV have scored in every competitive game already this season. On the flip side, so have Benfica. And traditionally, these two teams have always provided goal fests in the past. Their 3 games over the 2011-2012 seasons produced an average of 4.3 goals per game. So, while that's a while ago, there's still some players who are still around who played in that game. So I expect an entertaining game tomorrow night. And as I said, in what's arguably to me the tie of the round. So yeah, both teams to score. Quite like that, minus 138.
Yeah, I have to think of the 3 games that are being played in Champions League, the League Ones that are being played in Champions League tomorrow, that this has to be the marquee matchup as far as tomorrow goes. And yeah, I get the both teams to score, Cav. You know what I mean? Like if you look at, and sometimes I like to look at these exact score matchups, and the 2-1 scoreline for Benfica is the 3rd lowest price behind the 1-1 draw at plus 550, 1-0 Benfica at plus 750, and then the 2-1 Benfica comes in at plus 800. So that is the lowest one. Kev, let me throw something else at you. So the line on this one is Benfica plus 105. It's actually plus 105, the updated line. The plus 115 was the overnight. It's plus 105 now. And it's probably going to take a little bit more action after today's games are done. What do you think of the Benfica to qualify, plus 110? I would think if you're going to play them to win tomorrow, that you might want to take the better plus price and take them to qualify at plus 110.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair enough. It's going to be a tough ask for them in Holland. It's just PSG. I would actually expect that these odds as well, that some money is going to start to trickle in on the PSV side of the play before tomorrow, just because of what they've been doing, what they did against Ajax in that cup game as well. So, the qualify play looks equally as good as the match line here. Although, for me personally, probably just stick with the match line, as, still unsure what's going to happen in the second leg.
All right, there you have it. Kevin Dolan of WagerTalk.com. Make sure you guys tune in to Thursday's show, 10 a.m. here on WagerTalk TV. Kev will be the capper, the featured capper of the week, and we're going to have some great promos for him leading into the weekend. And of course, we'll cover some of the EPL games that go on the weekend. EPL kicked off last week. The world's #1 league, and there were some great results. There was not a single draw on the entire card, so there was a winner in every single game. You normally don't see that in league play, do you, Kev?
That's true, and I believe my 5% was on Burnley on Saturday too, and I believe I had the only home team to lose or something as well. So I was so mad about that. Burnley plus a quarter, leading the entire game, 2 goals right at the end. So yes, I'm hoping for a much better Saturday than what I had last week. Ruined my dinner. I wasn't happy about that at all.
There's always some Irish whiskey to get you over that pain, man. Don't worry about it. You have
Definitely.
been money. You've been money since April on these 5% plays, so I expect you to get right back on that horse and get there. So no worries. All right, guys, let's cover the third game. This one also goes on Tuesday. Young Boys minus 182. The draw plus 275. Ferencvarosi at plus 550, and the total in this game is 2.5 goals. And Kev, I'm right off the bat, I'm going to say I wouldn't expect a Young Boys home game to be 2.5. I would expect probably a tick higher at 2.75 or at 3. But I think it lends to what we are likely going to see in this game. And no disrespect intended for either one of these two teams, but whoever comes out of this 2-leg tie is going to, they're going to finish 4th in their Champions League group. Unless they get an extremely easy group. And if you look at the 3 pots thus far, and we're going to talk about it after this game, this is going to be an absolutely stacked Champions League main tournament this year. So many fantastic teams in this. But you look at this, Swiss champs, Young Boys, another team that I had as a 5% play in their Leg 2 matchup against Romanian side Cluj, and they got their 3-1, winning that home game. But this is their first game now, or this is the first time in their 2 rounds of Champions League qualifying thus far, where they will start Leg 1 at home. They've had the benefit of having a Leg 2 at home in their 2 previous ones, where they started off with draws in Leg 1 and then got the job done in Leg 2. And it's the exact opposite for Ferencvarosi, in that they've started each one of their 3 previous qualifying rounds. They've had an extra round of qualifying. They've started all 3 at home and then finished on the road. Their last one being obviously the toughest, where they won 2-0 at home, went to Slavia Prague, and it was management more than anything there. They lost 1-0, but it was enough, 2-1 over 2 legs, to get them into this round. Give me your thoughts on this one. I have to think the away side comes here just looking for some type of a manageable result. defensive game, play for a draw, even a 1-0 loss in leg one on the road is a manageable result heading back home. Thoughts?
Yeah, well, firstly, I'll just start off by saying, Dan in production needs to promise not to clip this to make me look bad, but I like young boys here. That's the side of the play I'd want to be on, and it's actually kind of fun. I have a sense of humor like a 5-year-old, in all honesty, because I actually forgot the name of the stadium, and it sounds like something off an episode of your Ted Lasso show, in all honesty, Carmine. Young boys playing at the Stadion Wankdorf, you'd be forgiven that, this is all made up. But, the Swiss do Swiss, and, getting onto this game, in fairness, I do like young boys here. Look, I'm not sure. This line looks high to me, though. -1, it does look a little steep, but I nevertheless do expect them to get the job done here tomorrow night. Ferencvarosi, as you said, they look really, really unimpressive in their last game against Slavia Prague. Managed to hang on for that 2-1 aggregate score win, but, they got outshot 21 shots to 2 in that game. Complete domination by Prague, and if Ferencvarosi put in that kind of performance again here tomorrow, that's not going to get it done on the road here, against the Swiss champions. Young boys, they've been on an absolute tear late. They won the Swiss League by 31 points back in May. That has to be one of the most dominant displays domestically in Europe. They're unbeaten in European competition as well this season. They've lost just once over the last 15 at home in all competitive matchups as well. And that one loss, that came against an excellent Ajax team back in March. And even in that game, young boys had a goal disallowed by VAR. They gave up a second half penalty to Ajax as well. So this team, is semi for real on the European stage, and at home especially. I think they will prove, as much as Ferencvarosi might want to park the bus here, I do think young boys break them open at some part, and I think they'll prove too much here. Saying that, young boys are going through a bit of an injury crisis right now, and even the kind of form they're in, they've bagged 7 goals over the last 2 games. Laying a full goal here, as I said, really doesn't appeal to me all that much. So instead, I'm going to go straight back to the well here, look towards the both teams to score market, which is going off at around even money. I quite like that. Young boys' last 6 Champions League games and all have averaged 3.67 goals per game. And the Slavia Prague game was the only game going back to last April that Ferencvarosi haven't scored on the road in. So I do think both teams getting the score sheet again here. 3-1 seems likely again. And especially at even money, that's the side of the ledger I like the most for tomorrow night.
All right, love it. And to our production crew, if you guys email me your Venmo addresses and clip what Kevin just said about liking young boys, I will get some money over to both you guys. That's already on it, our production crew says. Love it. But yeah, I get it. I'm not sure how this game's going to turn out. I would have to think that it's, as far as the home side goes, and we look at the odds on it. And again, going back to Kev, as I mentioned, some of those exact score prices, which I like to throw, other than, my regular bets on the sides, I like to put some of that pizza money on it. You look at the lowest prices, 1-0 plus 550, 2-0 plus 600. Are the 2 prices on this game, the lowest prices, and the third lowest prices, and those were for young boy, 650 plus 650 on the 1-1 result. So maybe the line of the away side coming in here playing a defensive game, trying to get out with a manageable result before heading home, and this is one of the reasons why. If the total was a little higher, Kev, let me tell you right now, if the total was at 2.75, where I'd flat lean on the under here at 2.5. Again, if it lands on, obviously, if it lands on 3, that bet is a complete loss as opposed to losing half your bet on a 2.75. But I do tend to believe we're going to see something along the lines of the 1-0, 2-0 for the home side here. So those are probably the 2 bets that I'll look at playing on this one. Guys, thanks for tuning in. One more thing before we go. Obviously, there's another game going today. This is a pretty good one as well, too, Kev. It's the German Super Cup final, Dortmund and Bayern Munich. And aside from the odds here, I just want to look at this from a totals point of view, Kev, and maybe get a feedback from you. The last 2 Super Cups between these 2 teams, 3-2 Bayern Munich, and 2-0 for Dortmund in those. But we tend to see goals when these two teams hit the field. This one is being played in Dortmund's home stadium. Fans in the stands, so we'll get to see, I guess, the yellow wall. But let's look at some of the score lines. 2 Bayern Munich last season in league play. 3-2 Bayern Munich last season at Dortmund. The Super Cup 3-2. A 1-0 in Bundesliga play for Bayern. 4-0, 2-0, 5-0, 3-2, 6-0. There's goals, Kev, in these games. The total here is 3.5. Now, it's easy to say we see goals. We're going to see some goals. Any thoughts on this? Will you lean either way, or are you looking at or would you look at the total in this game?
At 3.5, I couldn't look at the total. No, I was looking at this game last night. Almost made my card. I actually put it out on Twitter as well. That I like Dortmund getting a quarter goal here, head start. I just think they've opened up the season on the right note. And Bayern look a little sloppy. I think if you're going to catch Bayern, it is in these type of cup games. And even though I think Bayern have won the last 5 on the bounce against Dortmund, I just think Dortmund present the value tonight. And to be honest, never mind the quarter goal line, I like the outright price on Dortmund as well. So it just missed me card, but that's definitely the play that I will be on for tonight.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying about about these. You look at. We've seen thus far in the Big 5 leagues, we've seen, I believe, only 2, or of all the leagues in Europe, only 2 Super Cups thus far. Ajax played PSV, who we talked about earlier, and Ajax favored in that game. They lose the game 4-0. Obviously, PSG played Lille in the France Super Cup, with Lille getting the 1-0 win in a game that PSG were favored, but still missing a slew of their players. The better team doesn't always win, or the team that is favored doesn't always win. And looking at the quick line on this one, Bayern Munich is plus 130, Dortmund are plus 170, the draw is plus 280. I tend to agree with you on this one. It's one of those ones where you could see some goals, but you very well could see Dortmund get the win here. It's the end game as far as these teams go, and these Super Cups sound great, but you think even last season, the teams that were favored went down in majority of those Super Cup games. Guys, don't forget, it is $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk and SportsMemo. It's when you can get a featured Cappers plays for only $2, and these are plays that normally go for $35 and $25. Over at WagerTalk.com, it's Adam Trigger. He has an NFL preseason play. This is a game that will go on later this week, so you can grab that now and grab the best number on that for only $2. And over at SportsMemo, Mikey Sports, absolute terror right now in MLB, 62 and 29, 68% with his MLB plays, 5% play tonight in Major League Baseball. So you can get that for only $2. And within those plays, there are some fantastic deals for some long-term packages for those guys, and some other sweet deals that our crew in Detroit put together for us and the Cappers. So head over to WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo. Thursday's show, we will cover some EPL games. Guys, hit that like button. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys on Thursday, 10 a.m.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.